comedy. Not interrupting each other. Bad improv. Monsters. Long ago, the four elements of good podcasting lived together in harmony. Then everything changed when the Bad Improv Nation attacked. Only Adam and the co-host, masters of all four elements, could stop them, but when the world needed them most, they vanished. A global pandemic happened, and my cousin and I started a new podcast, a show about monsters called Finding Monster Right. And although our podcasting skills are great, we have a lot to learn before we're ready to save anyone. But I believe Finding Monster Right can save the world.
Welcome to Finding Monster Right, show about finding monsters, right?
That is correct.
I'm Adam.
I am Ali, she who pods 10,000 casts.
And we are doing another classic Avatar episode.
Yes, indeed we are.
Do
you have a podcast to contribute to my vast collection of podcasts so that you may pod my cast?
Yes, Finding Monster Right, show about finding monsters, right?
I suppose that's acceptable.
This episode is about Wan Shi Tong.
Yep.
Also known as He Who Knows 10,000 Things.
Wan Shi Tong.
A big owl.
Big owl. Should we share that I've done a bit already?
Yes, that we are in full costume right now.
Yes, I have like sunglasses and some eyeshadow on my nose that looks like a beak because it's yellow and
Can confirm.
Big costume wings, and Adam's got a little wolf hat because he has some fox friends, doesn't he?
Yes, I'm your little buddies that bring you knowledge.
Aw, I like to think that that's true. That's kind of our dynamic.
Yeah, I'm the real wisdom behind the behind the library.
I feel like you are more of the Wan Shi Tong and I am more of the, like, collectively all... No, you know what? The foxes have a much more level head on their shoulders. And
Wan Shi Tong is kind of all over the place.
He's really prone to, like, fits of pique in a way that I am. Mm-hmm. He's a Sagittarius, essentially. I've learned from astrology.
Fits of beak. He, as you might say, is a know-it-owl. Modernizing Wan Shi Tong's library.
Wan Shi Tong's library.
This was featured in episode 210 of Avatar, The Last Airbender, called The Library, where the gang travels to the desert and finds an ancient spirit library. That's run by Wan Shi Tong, this giant owl man. Mm-hmm. Actually, he's more of an owl than a man.
Yeah, he's more of a giant owl spirit.
Correct.
And not really a man at all.
Mm-hmm. They're there just to hang out.
At owl.
Wait, that's not correct. Midway through season 2, they're kind of, Sokka especially is looking for some down low on how to fight the Fire Nation. Mm-hmm. And he gets this intel from the library. And Wan Shi Tong is very opposed to that. Basically, Wan Shi Tong wants to protect his library from humans that come there. Mm-hmm. And they trade him knowledge and goods for his services. We want to, we'll get to this eventually. We want to explore the library and other public works that the spirit world might have.
Right. But also, in episode 210 of The Legend of Korra...
Correct, yes, we also watched that. It's about how Korra and Jinora travel to the spirit world, and we have a re-encounter of our nice spirit owl friend.
Who is not nice.
And not a friend.
No, yeah. But, the library has changed somewhat, and with that massive, like, technological leap between Legend of Aang and Legend of Korra, there's it turns out there's a bit of a gap in Wan Shi Tong's knowledge base, which makes sense considering he left for the spirit world at the end of the original episode.
Yes, now that he's kind of shut him off, his little fox buddies can't gather him information from the material plane.
Which, I mean, kind of ruins his whole vibe, right?
Well, yeah, now he's shifted from someone that gathers knowledge to someone that just protects his own knowledge.
Yeah.
He becomes very selfish, and I think you can tell that in his appearance. He seems very put off. Like, instantly. Yeah,
his beak is yellow instead of gray. Even the architecture of his library is a little more, like, brutal than, like, the sweeping, like, gothic kind of...
It looks a little more run down. I think I think what you see in it is the actual library itself hung upside down, but the spire's like busted up.
Well, I'm talking about the architecture itself.
Inside, it's yeah.
Yeah.
You also had a couple comments about him as an owl.
Yes. I'm caught up. Do you understand what I mean about the architecture thing? Like,
no, I don't.
Look up a picture.
It was redesigned. I'm not going to find any pictures of the library.
Look up a picture of the library from Korra.
Like this?
Yeah, you know those like owl like pillar things that we were talking about?
Mm-hmm.
So in Korra, the beaks are thicker, and like it's more of just like, I think it might even be like as different as like, you know, Doric columns instead of like, you know, sweeping Ionic columns.
I think I see what you're saying. I don't know. I think that might just be the background artist on Korra.
No, I think that's intentional. I think that's to show that it's like less of this like fountain of knowledge, you know, this like,
it's decrepit and falling apart is what you're saying?
No, it's like solid and like protected. It's more like a jail.
It's not for tourists anymore.
Yeah.
It's all for him.
It's not like a cathedral that's built for the masses to marvel at the awesomeness of, you know, the object of worship, or in a cathedral's case, God, or in Wan Shi Tong's case, knowledge. It's a jail for knowledge. And knowledge that isn't read is nothing.
It's pretty pointless.
Yeah.
He's just, you know, the keeper of all these books that he doesn't even read.
Doesn't have hands.
He already knows 10,000 things.
But anyway.
Not a lot of things.
Speaking of hands. So, Wan Shi Tong's wings. In Avatar, they got this right, I want to say. More or less, where when he is flying, he does not make a sound.
Pretty quiet.
Yeah. Owls.
Silent, like owls because they're predators.
Owls, not even just because they're predators, especially among the birds. Is this a seatbelt, everyone?
Yeah, I guess so.
Especially among the birds, owls are silent flyers because they have extremely soft feathers. This is the sound of an owl flapping its wings.
But what you're saying is in Korra, it's all like... whoosh, whoop, whoop.
Yeah, even in Avatar, like, they make sounds for when he takes off.
Mm-hmm.
And I checked this on a video from the BBC. When an owl takes off, it doesn't make a sound.
Mm.
When an owl is flapping midstream, mid-flight, it doesn't make a sound. And in Korra, it just, like, is flapping around all the time. But even in Avatar, The Last Airbender, it, like, makes a sound when it takes off.
I am curious.
And that makes it a bad show, I guess.
Well, I'm curious if they're...
When he struck the same bone twice.
I'm curious if that was intentional, because things are a lot different in the spirit world. You are seeing spirit world Wan Shi Tong's library. And, like, you know, bending doesn't work there.
Right.
Maybe spirits act in different ways. Maybe his spiritness is the sound that you're hearing.
That sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
I say dressed like an owl.
Yeah.
That fox hat has a strap, by the way.
I know.
To make sure that it's safe.
I'm gonna wear like a real cool.
No, you can't be a backwards fox. That actually might be that. Oh fuck, that looks so cool.
I know, right?
You look like an Adventure Time right now.
I look like the world's coolest caveman. But yeah, Wan Shi Tong. The big thing that happens in Aang's adventures is that Sokka pursues some forbidden knowledge about the Fire Nation, their darkest day.
Mm-hmm.
Finds out about a solar eclipse, which like really feeds information for the rest of the series. And following that, Wan Shi Tong is real mad at him. He hates that humans have come here to try and use his knowledge to hurt other beings.
Yes, that is critical. Wan Shi Tong does not like letting humans enter his library because humans only use knowledge to gain the edge on other humans.
Yes, this happened in the past with General Zhao, who learned about the spirits at the North Pole. That happened at the end of season 1.
So, is it true that humans only ever use knowledge to gain the edge on other humans?
I can see why a spirit as old as Wan Shi Tong might think that. Especially with, you know, stuff that they explore later in, like, spirit world activities and things like that. Humans are always kind of fighting. And spirits kind of do one thing.
Well, let's begin with a yes or no.
Gain knowledge to get an edge on other people. No, I think that's not always the case. Professor Zay, for example, just wanted knowledge for knowledge's sake.
That's true.
Yeah, he was professor of archaeology. He wasn't like, he didn't have a rival or anything like that. He was fine going down with the library because of how interested in, like, that it was. He was entirely selfless in his pursuit of knowledge.
You're right, and you know what? That kind of person could exist in real life. I think we proved that.
Yeah, and Korra, Wan Shi Tong just fucking roasts him. He's like, look at this asshole stuck around. It's a skeleton in the corner.
Why didn't he get the edge on people? God.
Yeah. How dare he not use my knowledge for ill?
Is Wan Shi Tong right to... I guess he shouldn't ban all humans from his library. But is he right?
I think he might notice his own weakness in that, as he's a poor judge of character. Because we see that the Fire Nation, like, burns down his library. And his reaction from that isn't, oh, Fire Nation people are bad. I'll make sure whoever's here's not Fire Nation. He just goes, oh, people suck.
He just turns racist.
Yeah. He is a spirit owl.
Yeah. Well, what does that have to do with it?
He knows 10,000 things. But apparently, being kind to people isn't one of them.
He's like some Twitter asshole. That's like...
He's like specialized.
He's like some, like, Twitter Nazi that's just going on about, like, how great Greco-Roman statues are or some shit.
Yeah, well, we were talking about this, we were talking earlier about how 10,000 things is not a lot of things.
Yeah.
No, it's like, I think I know 10,000 things about Pokemon alone.
Like, name, like, 10 things you know about Pokemon.
Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, Venusaur. That's Charmander, Charizard, Charmeleon, not in that order. Squirtle, Blastoise, Wartortle, not in that order. Caterpie are the first 10 Pokemon.
There you go. That's 10 things.
Yeah.
So then, surely you know 1,000 times that much.
Yeah, the levels they evolve, moves they learn.
How to spell them.
Yeah, these are many things.
Yeah.
10,000 in the Chinese mythologies that Avatar pulls from means, like many, an infinite number.
An equivalent to, like, a million kajillion, or like we were talking about this earlier, like 70 times 7 or 77 in Judeo-Christian mythology. Like at that point in time, that was the
like the pinnacle of numbers.
Yeah, that was the biggest number they had back then.
If they had
times were tough. Times were tough for old Jesus.
Times were 70 times tough.
They're raising him up on the cross, and it just like freezes. It looks like our boy's in a whole heap of trouble.
He's trying to do addition. So that's the explanation of the name.
Little baby Jesus in like math class at school. And then he just like gets to like what's 18 plus 60, and he's like, screw this, I embrace my divinity, and then he starts floating and glowing.
Something I want to point out about Wan Shi Tong is that he's an owl. And
very perceptive.
And his little buddies are foxes. In the Avatar world, that's special.
Quite special indeed. The spirits speak to us.
Yeah, all the Avatar animals are hybrid species. Except for a bear that's like purebred.
Right.
So it's very rare. Seeing them in that shape is obscure and uncommon. And they're also, in mythology, they're symbols of cleverness, wisdom, and the like. So, real quick question about Wan Shi Tong. Therapy animal, therapist, or needs therapy?
Needs therapy. It's racist. He needs some therapy to fix his racistness.
Yeah, racist against all humans.
So, I want to talk about the concept of the owl as a symbol of wisdom.
Okay.
Where does that come from? Because this has only occurred to me now. I didn't do research on it. But I know they're associated with Athena or Minerva or the Greek and Roman.
I know that there's the symbol of the
goddesses
golden...
of wisdom. I want to finish my sentence.
Okay. I was trying to cover for you as you searched.
Oh, okay.
I know from Clash of the Titans, the symbol of the owl is not uncommon. Is a piece of that puzzle. But I know they exist in fables a lot. You always hear about how the owl is the wisest animal in those children's tales and such. Fable is something that we claimed on the show, but is a misnomer. We more do like folklore,
yeah,
and fairy tales. We should really do like the Scorpion and the Frog one episode.
Ooh.
We just really, really get into brass tacks about the Scorpion and the Frog.
Yeah, are there
Who's the monster and who's the man?
Wow. Are there any monster fables? Are there any fables about monsters?
Like I said, we don't have fairy tales. Is Three Billy the Goat's Gruff a fairy tale?
Well, it's not a fable. There's no moral.
We did learn that, yeah.
Marisha Gimbutas traces veneration of the owl as a goddess among other birds to the culture of Old Europe, long predating Indo-European cultures. So
it's been ancient history.
So the oldest it goes back to is Athena in ancient Greece.
Huh.
The association between the owls and her, but the roots of that go back further, and that's interesting.
Yeah, I like how I like owls personally.
Owls are great.
They're cool. They do the head thing. Not all the way around.
One of their ears is higher up than the other.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that they can that's 10,001. But it's so that you know how you have two ears on either side, so you can hear if something's over here or over here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they have an ear that's higher up than the other, so they can also hear if something's down here or up here.
Yeah. I do want to say that Wan Shi Tong, they goof on an awful lot.
Mm.
They kind of run this group of like teens and preteens really just mop the floor with him.
Mm.
So I can see why he took his ball and went to the spirit world. But we wanted to talk about a little bit, if there is a spirit library,
mm-hmm.
what other spirit public facilities are there?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got a list here.
I love this.
That's made for children.
I love this, like 90s bedroom floor mat derived list of public facilities.
Yeah, there's 12 different ones listed here. And some I don't think are going to apply, but some might.
All right.
Let's talk a little bit about the post office.
The post office.
Do spirits get parcels and stuff?
I have to imagine that's how you get prayers.
They pass them back and forth. Okay, mm-hmm. So maybe that's something that the foxes also do.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they do. They kind of do that. Like,
well, they're basically bringing They're bringing in messages to Wan Shi Tong.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay.
All right.
Then we have banks.
Banks. Who runs the spirit bank? Vampires. Am I right?
Oh, I'm trying to remember what job we found out for Ko last time. I don't recall.
I believe he was. I believe we got him to co-rule the Earth Kingdom and Fire Nation and Air Nomadlands and the Water Tribe with Fire Lord Azula.
Mm-hmm. I do not think there would be a bank in the spirit world. There's no currency. There's no exchange of any kind.
I think there. Well, no, sure there is.
Oh, well,
like
what?
Maybe it's like Feywild rules, like favors and wishes. And Wan Shi Tong asks for knowledge in exchange for entry.
Yeah, that is a price to be paid.
Yeah, what is knowledge if not a fiat currency?
In that case, Wan Shi Tong would run the worst bank.
He would. I don't think Wan Shi Tong is in charge of that. I think it's a dragon. I think it's like a big, like Jeff Bezos dragon.
Just sits there, counts money.
Yeah. Goes into space and is all like, thank you everybody for peeing in enough bottles that I got up into space.
Good question.
That's my impression. Every time I pick up a bottle full of piss in the parking lot where I work,
mm-hmm.
I call it a Bezos. I'm just throwing that out there. I want to get that started.
Do you think there's a space in the spirit world?
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Church.
There are spirits.
Pray into bigger spirits. Welcome to Spirit World.
Honestly, that makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
You saw the different sizes of spirits in that core episode.
No. Not even bigger like size or like power. Like bigger like we have mortals, they have spirits, and then there's spirits.
Oh, okay.
There's double spirits.
You think who watches the spirit world?
Yeah.
Spirit world.
And then who's in charge of the spirit world? It's spirit world. And who's in charge of that? Our Lord and Creator Yahweh of space. He who must be praised.
Swimming pools on here, which I find adorable.
I like a public swimming pool.
And the hot springs in the lake.
We've gone from all right, hot springs. Oh, maybe it's like I bet it's like a Japanese macaque.
Ah.
And like a hot spring. It's nice.
Yeah, I want to say that, like, in the Avatar 1 episodes in Korra, there is a hot spring where the spirits chill.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think that's where I would like to hang out with them.
Hot springs are cool.
Yeah.
I've always said if I could come back as any animal, it would be a Japanese macaque. All I would do is eat sweet potatoes and hang out in a hot spring and live in a matriarchal society all day, and that's pretty great. Like, that's all I have to worry about. Those are 3 good things.
Sounds good. Train station.
Train station. I think this might be where we put Ko.
Yeah.
He was a bus.
Mm.
He was a bus, but, like, big centipede.
Yeah. Yeah, he can really move along.
Oh, you know,
we did talk about public transportation.
You know what the crazy thing about centipedes is for this purpose? So the segments of an arthropod's body, you know what they're called?
Segments?
Septa. A septum or multiple septa.
Septa being the
Southeast Pennsylvania Transportation Authority.
Yes, thank you.
They're in charge of the trains, but also, like, you could get on a septa.
Wow. The other thing I want to point out about trains is another movie we recently watched, Spirited Away.
Yeah.
When we were talking about spirit worlds.
Oh, there's a spirit train.
Yeah, they got no burrs in their boots about having trains travel around.
Yeah.
That's a big thumbs up. Phone box. Is this a song?
It's the Doctor Who theme.
Oh, okay.
Like the entire Doctor Who theme.
That show is so new. I've never I haven't caught up.
Yeah, no. I think pre-reboot Doctor Who definitely could TARDIS into the spirit world. Post, I think there's too many rules for some reason.
They nerfed him.
Yeah. I haven't caught up on... I was big into Doctor Who in high school, so I know, like, 11's tenure, like, not quite the back of my hand, it's like the bottom of my foot. Like, I've definitely seen it, but, like...
Yeah. I was watching Avatar in that time period.
Yeah.
Hence my intense knowledge.
But
I do think it's a technology that, in the same way that Wan Shi Tong didn't know jack shit about the radios.
He wouldn't know about phones.
Yeah, right.
But I still think that, in a Spirited Away sense, or in a Studio Ghibli spirit world, I think that a phone booth would not be out of place, and I think that a TARDIS showing up would not, like, it would be spiritual enough that it wouldn't violate everything. Like, it's alien enough technology that it shoots the moon back into magic, right?
Yeah, I would say that. Let me put it this way.
We're going to shoot the moon! Bum, 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 ba-dum, bum, bum,
a few more generations into the Korra, like, spirit world, I would say, yeah, no, you would see phone booths popping around.
Yeah.
Parks. They're pretty much already big parks.
I mean, a park implies that there are parts of the spirit world that are, like, urbanized, and I don't think that's true.
You don't think that just, like, kind of the fields and paths you can walk down count?
I think a park is not, like, fields and paths so much as a park is the exclusion of an urban environment.
It's kind of separates itself from that.
It's a reserved spot for, here is untamed nature, or here is nature. This is the nature spot. And the spirit world, that's everywhere, so there doesn't have to be a park. There doesn't have to be a designated place for that.
Everywhere then. Hospital.
Ooh.
I don't think spirits get... Oh, they do get hurt. We saw that in Korra.
Yeah, they do get hurt, and they do get, like... I feel like you can... Is it Patch Adams who's in charge of the spirit world hospital? Like, laughter is the best medicine? That might actually be true.
Yeah, that's what... Spirit Iroh gave Korra that advice.
Yeah.
Of, like, your energy basically will feed the spirits around you.
Right.
So, like, yes, literally her being positive and stuff like that would turn everyone into, like, adorable dogs.
Yeah.
So I think you're absolutely correct.
Right?
Yeah. Spirit Patch Adams.
Maybe it's Patch Adams, but also the Monsters, Inc. monsters are working for him.
So they've... one of their doors opened into the spirit world.
They're turning children laugh energy into spirit health.
I want to say that's good, and I'm not going to look at it too long. So that's good.
Is the Monsters, Inc. world...
Not going to look at it too long.
Okay.
Museum.
I feel like the nature of the spirit world is change, and a museum's job is not that at all. I mean, they do have a library, which is kind of like a museum, but just for books, I guess.
Yeah, in a sense. I know Iroh had that teapot from the first Avatar.
Yeah, but he just found it.
Like, yeah. So he didn't steal that from a museum, is what you're implying? The Dragon of the West didn't break into spirit.
He just like firebends like one little thing on his finger of fire and just like uses it to like draw a circle in a window, like Catwoman.
Then he tries to go and he draws a bigger circle.
He does like that thing with like he does that thing where he just like does like a 3-point landing, and then like it's like that thing where he breaks out of prison.
Yeah, exactly.
But he just breaks into a museum and steals a teapot and gets out. The museum blows up behind him.
Yeah. Not one of the facilities. Police station.
Well, there are bad spirits.
Yes, there are dark spirits. And not light spirits.
Right.
Yeah, so but no one really goes around and tells them what to do.
Oh no, I was saying the police were the dark spirits.
Oh, okay. They go around and I guess I could see that. It's because they're basically bullying all everyone else, putting them in line with whoever their orders are.
Exactly.
In this case, being, Vatu and Unalak.
Right.
Yeah. Clothes shop.
Some of the spirits have clothes, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, one of them had a Hawaiian shirt on.
Right, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so I think in the same way that they would embody emotions and stuff like that, they would embody styles and looks.
The clothes make the man, and sometimes they literally do. The clothes literally make the spirit, because, when you wear different outfits, you feel different. I know that better than anybody.
You're literally dressed as an owl right now.
Literally dressed as an owl right now. That's not even what I was talking about, but that's also true.
And the last one here is the bus stop.
All I can think of is Totoro.
Yeah.
Totoro's in charge of the bus stop. He's so good at it.
So that's covered. I think there's plenty of room in the spirit world for these different, facilities.
Yeah.
The other thing that we kind of hinted at in our title is about modernizing Wan Shi Tong's library.
We haven't gotten to that part yet.
No.
That was the whole thing.
Well, let's talk about it.
All right.
About how he's really locked in the past, and I think he needs more public outreach. Honestly, he needs more. What were those things like ambassadors?
Yeah.
Because the only human he's chilling with right now is Unalak, and that guy is no fun.
No, he's not cool.
Not cool in the least.
He doesn't vape or do any skateboard tricks. He's not cool.
Skateboard tricks and vape tricks, both knowledge.
That's true, and he doesn't have any. So
yeah.
What's he doing there? Get out.
So that might be a thing for a future Avatar that lives in a more technologically advanced world to bring to Wan Shi Tong.
If you had to pitch like another Avatar show, like what level of technology would you go for?
It'd have to be far-flung future. They set too many rules about that. Avatars are technically live for hundreds of years. Kyoshi living for more than 200.
Oh, really?
It was an accident that happened. They mistakenly said oh, she was from 400 years ago. When later on they're like, oh no, she was right before Roku.
Oh shoot!
And then they're like, nah, we'll just say she learned a special earthbending technique that let her live a long time. Basically, Korra, they're in steampunk 20s, and she's only she's 18 to 21 in the series. Right. So if she were to live another 100 years, that's our time or beyond. With that level of technology and spirit stuff going on, I think that would be beyond us. So it'd be far future stuff. I always thought it'd be neat to see twins born as the Avatar, spirits shared between two people.
Oh, can you do that?
I don't know.
I guess.
Could you do that? Or maybe it's a very interesting story is that one twin is the Avatar and the other's not.
Oh.
He's not even a bender.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that'd be a fun adventure, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So, imagine, bringing genetic engineering and stuff, some, cyberpunk Avatar.
Well, you're starting to,
cyberpunk Avatar.
You didn't watch a lot of later Korra, but it gets into a lot of technology, time, spirit stuff. And yes, cyberpunk going full cyberpunk instead of just the steampunk stuff thumbs up.
Well, like, yeah, like full cyberpunk, like, you know, people's arms are things, and like, people call themselves like Johnny Explosion, and
they
like,
vape.
they vape, they do skateboard tricks, the corporations are there, and they're really bad, and like, the whole thing is anti-capitalist, but then when it gets like capitalist washed by like commercial products, they change it so that like, you know, if you have like a prosthetic arm, that like your soul leaves. You know how that's like a thing in cyberpunk where it's like, the more prosthetics you get, the less human you are.
It's all about how human are you.
And then, meanwhile, there's some poor asshole over there in the corner with a prosthetic arm. Like, what the fuck? I'm fine. Chill out. Chill out, all corporations. Goddamn.
Yeah, it seems like slightly insensitive.
It is. And then, well, that's because like the original cyberpunk materials and stuff are all very anti-capitalist and very much like, hey, we can't let these corporations control things that we put into our bodies.
And you're saying, yeah, as corporations got a hold of it, the message changed.
Yeah, the message changed to, like, but what about the soul? What about the soul of the robot boy?
Yeah, which is very funny coming from the capitalist angle.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just like, let's just dive back into religion, I guess.
In the first episode that we watched, Toph had a really funny observation of, like, let me know if they have anything you can listen to.
Right.
Which I think Wan Shi Tong first learning about the radio is a good introduction.
Yeah.
Into him developing an audiobook system.
Wait a minute. Not an audiobook. I thought of a way that he can reach out.
A radio program?
A podcast. He who pods 10,000 casts. It can be real.
I did not think of that.
That's Wan Shi Tong's forever place in the Lilo and Stitch kind of way. He is a podcaster.
He has no lack of things to talk about, for sure.
He really doesn't. No, every episode they just talk about another book.
And he's also an angry... He's just an angry man.
He's an angry white man. They're all over the podcast world.
Yeah,
I know he's not physically white or physically a man, but like essentially.
I'm thinking of the his little fox people being like his crew.
Oh my god, they have like one of them holds the boom mic.
Yeah, they're like giving him like, you know, teleprompter stuff, and
one of them like holds up like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, or like they have like a little like clackboard thing in their mouths.
Yes. I am presenting this from the observatory. Here I'll tell you all about lunar eclipses. In a lunar eclipse, the waterbenders lose their powers, as they should always do.
I think we found it.
Yeah, he's a podcaster.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful use for him.
And like he can like, you know, be active on Twitter, and then like people can
Twitter,
like,
get it, bird?
Maybe he can be active somewhere else.
I do not think Twitter will be very helpful for him.
For gaining information? No. Social media is actually really bad for that.
Yeah, and it will not... If we're trying to steer him into like a proper environment where he likes people more, I don't think Twitter's the place.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, you're right. That's kind of an Ultron problem, isn't it?
Yeah. Ultron would have a very tough time there. What are some other modern items in the library that work? Like internet stuff? They have like little like computers there?
Yeah, like little PCs for people to use. There's a lot of like it's not just books you can rent at a library. You can also rent like cookware and stuff. You can get like stuff from a library that you can just borrow. Yeah.
Borrow is a good term because I think he's gotten a little possessive with his stuff. Having an actual library card system.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think he has one of them.
We need Ben Franklin to come in here.
We need the spirit of Ben Franklin.
We need the spirit of Ben Franklin to finish taking his air bath.
He looks like a turkey.
Yeah. Like a turkey with Ben Franklin's head and like the little bifocals.
Right.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know,
I've been taking an air bath for 300 years. Ben Franklin used to run around naked taking air baths.
I know this.
Yeah, you know this.
And we know that he's here because there's a fire department here and a police station.
That's true.
And a post office. He's been all over the place. Now he comes to the library.
Yeah, I think he invented the library, probably.
Many things.
He did invent a lot of stuff. He was also a big creep. But besides that, he invented a lot of stuff.
Yeah. He saw weather balloons and he was like, these could be used for weather, but they're just regular balloons back then.
Right. He invented
odometer?
The kite by... Nope, didn't invent that. I don't know. I don't know what else he invented.
The odometer.
The odometer.
Yeah. His cart axle, like he put a little thing on that would count it so you could see which route was the shortest for his paper route.
You know, the Free Library is in Philadelphia. That is, I think, the first public library.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, Benny Franks. It would be an excellent addition to Wan Shi Tong. Like, that's what Wan Shi Tong needs more people than just his little fox buddies.
Yeah.
They're all yes men.
Mm-hmm.
Or yes foxes.
Yep men. Yep men.
Yep men.
Yep foxes. Which, we were talking about this, kitsune or no?
I'm still in the no boat.
I mean, they are foxes, which is pretty much all you need to be a kitsune. They're all one-tailed foxes.
Okay.
So, they only have the powers of a fox. They don't have all the extra stuff.
I see what you're saying. Well, I was curious about how we see one of the foxes like travel across the desert and go into the library. I wonder if like how that fox got that info, or what if they are kitsune in a way and they can transform. What if those foxes become people out there, gather information and bring it back?
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, they turn into a fox when they travel across the desert.
Yeah.
Yeah, so but I guess they could be kitsune.
They could be, but it's not shown.
Nope. I think in the context of it, they're a mystery, and that's some of the best parts of Avatar, the mysteries. Sometimes you don't need to learn who the first Avatar was.
Well, the spirits can all kind of shapeshift.
They can change. Well, yeah, we see that all the changing shapes in the spirit world in this one.
Yeah, so I don't see why a spirit fox couldn't change into a person.
I'm trying to recall if we've ever seen a spirit change in the material world of Avatar.
Yeah. When that big Cloverfield monster is attacking that town, and then Aang turns it into a panda with love.
Right, that happens while they're in the material world.
Yeah.
Yeah, so good point. Yeah, so the powers carry over. That
was something that was, like, done to it. That was, like, a strong, emotive, like, narrative structure.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That was, like, it was the right time for it to change.
I think
it wasn't just, like, a mystique, like, scale ripple effect.
You may even attract that moment to what we learned in this one about emotion, and how his attitude of that one changed. Because everyone was scared, and then Aang was like, nah, you're cool.
The body is the plaything of the mind.
I am cool, aren't I?
Yeah.
Here's your friends. So, Spirit World Adventures. All right. And we're reaching the end of the episode. Any last farewells you want to say to Wan Shi Tong?
I guess we just put it in the final rating place.
Yeah, where we put this monster to rest.
Yeah.
Monster is the name of our show. Wan Shi Tong is a giant spirit owl, a monster of sorts.
He does turn into kind of a dragon.
Yeah, his neck gets real long, and he really creeps around his library.
All the traits of a dragon. Well, honestly, hey, he's hoarding knowledge like a dragon hoards things.
And he also threatens to put them, like, stuff them and put them on his wall.
Yeah.
So, I like him a lot, and I like his role that he has.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a little inflexible, which is fine for a monster. Right?
Yeah.
I think he can learn and change. I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10.
All right, that's good. I think because he is kind of self-defeating in a way, because he is very anti the sharing of knowledge, which as an immortal
who loves knowledge,
an immortal knowledge keeper, it seems pointless to just collect knowledge for knowledge's sake. Not even... Well, he's collecting knowledge for knowledge's sake to the extent that he is punishing people for seeking knowledge.
Which he's gone full circle then.
Yeah. So, he's taken the concept of pacifism to an illogical extreme.
Violence towards them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
So he's very hypocritical.
So as an illustration of that point, as a critique of elitism in academia,
which is what he represents,
such as it is, in a way, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I will go ahead and give him an 8 out of 10. Also, his voice is pretty hot. It's pretty alright. It wasn't as good as Co, but it was pretty all right.
On the way out, real quick swatch, Lorette.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Let's do this. We don't normally do this after a final, but yeah, sure.
No, you made a pass as we left, so I have to ask. Would you give Wan Shi Tong a rose?
Yep.
Yes, no? Yes?
Yeah.
He doesn't hate knowledge in academia.
I'll give him... Look, we'll sort it out we'll sort it out when he goes up against everybody else.
Okay. But you want to hear that voice again? Whispering lovely nothings to you?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
All right.
We're gonna tune in next time when we go beyond the stars and to the place in our distant past.
I don't remember. Oh, right. That's what we're doing. So at the end of the last episode, I said that I would do a Stacy's Mom parody, but I already did that for Grendel's mom.
You don't think it's worthwhile?
No. So I have I have a new bit where I'm just going to actually I'm just gonna try and not just do a straightforward parody of Stacy's mom again.
Okay.
I'm just gonna all right. So hang on, let me get into the zone bit. It's just
Wan Shi Tong has got it going on. When he gets real mad, then his neck gets long. Mr. Owl, can't you see how to get to the center of me? I know it might be wrong, but I'm in love with Wan Shi Tong.